Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to a new podcast this week with our normal crew of Oscar and Joey.
Hey.
What's up?
Before we get started, I want to do a quick shout out once again to our patrons. They're the ones who keep this podcast going, and we've had a decent amount of new additions over the past couple weeks. So thanks a lot, you guys. We've revamped our Patreon for the most part, and we're about to edit one of the 20 plus up tier with some cool new themes. Oscar, you want to show them? Actual energized tokens, or whatever you want to use it for.
And here, look, they're like actual poker chips.
Yeah. So this is our test run of it to see how it goes, and we'll hopefully get multiple colors. So each month you'll get a different color, different things like that, and we'll see how the reception of it is going forward. But it's better than it's going to be replacing the custom card token, because that I don't think was that high of quality compared to what we would want. So there's that, and also if you guys are looking for Force of Will singles or sealed product, the link below has a link, or the description below has a link to Happy Little Hug Factory. They're pretty awesome over there. They have all their singles are at or below TCG player pricing, as well as their sealed product is really cheap. It's really awesome, and they also have a buy list for Force of Will cards. So make sure you click the link below so that they know that we sent you. And yeah, so today's podcast we're going to be talking about Wander.
Yeah.
And just understand, we're not professionals on Wander.
Oh no,
by any means
we
necessary.
We dabble.
Well, yeah, I don't even dabble.
I mean, dabbling for me has been like the alternative formats of either Popper or reading into like epic story stuff.
I mean, we played some Wander, and Oscar's at least attempting to go to the Wander GP. We'll see what happens to that.
If tickets are reasonably priced, we'll see.
Yeah,
that's what's hinging on.
Yeah. So no promises, but he should probably start looking at how Wander works. But we thought I'd give our thoughts and like what when we do go into Wander, like how our thought processes and our opinions on Wander as a whole and all that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started into that. So Wander, in case you guys for some reason don't know, is like, Joey, what's the term in Magic?
Probably Legacy or Modern. Probably Legacy, since it goes back further.
And in Pokemon, it's expanded. Basically, just using all the sets minus Valhalla. If you want to use Valhalla, you can go to the madness that is Origin format. But Wander, so everything is set for Valhalla has its own ban list that Force of Will has now been updating and staying on top of that. Yeah, and the new My Will, My Game rewards was the Cheshire Cat, which is only used in Wander. So Force of Will is showing a lot more support for it. So we thought it'd be cool to talk about it because it is cool. A lot of cool stuff. Because of the plethora of cards available, it does make it so there's a lot of broken combos, which Force of Will is trying to address at the moment. So that's nice. But it also means there's a whole giant bunch of different weird combos, weird deck combinations, just a lot of fun things that are available to you, especially if you go to really old Grim Cluster stuff and things like that.
There's a lot of really crap stuff in Grim Cluster, though, along with some really good stuff. Which
yeah, funny. And it's not like it was crap at the time of printing Grim Cluster, just relative to today. Yeah. It's like if you were to go to play Pokemon, you go grab an old Pokemon card, you're like, well, that's not very good. And at the time, it was probably super good. Like Charizard, the $800 card or whatever. You know, obviously there's collector reasons behind it being expensive as well, but that card is not that strong in today's standards of Pokemon. And so it's the same thing. But there's a couple outliers that are super strong, and the same thing with other game formats.
Well, I meant to jump in a second ago, but it's like Pokemon EX cards are pretty much irrelevant at this point because of GX is just overpowered them.
Yeah. Which is exactly what everyone was thinking with EX cards. They're like, wow, these are too weak. That was my thought when I played. I was like, man, I wish I could play EX cards, but they're just not up to par to my standard. I better just stick with basics and level 2s.
You guys are missing like 90% of our viewership.
I'm sure a lot of people. I think a lot of people got started in Pokemon as kids. Is there either that or you?
I never touched Pokemon.
I just said I
I'd go
think
with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh are the two starter games for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I'm right because you're like, oh shit, I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger.
Yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
I can't argue that.
It's because Yu-Gi-Oh is fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it was fire.
we should talk about some
Force
of
of Will.
like. Well, I just want to bring up some cool staples of what I thought is good in Wanderer. But apparently, Oscar was telling me that like Cheshire Cat, the Grinning Remnant, is like not good enough in Wanderer.
Yeah, it was an argument
It's like-
that it's not relevant.
It's like how? Okay, so in case people don't know, Cheshire Cat was basically like he was he.
I think it's confirmed it's a he
Okay.
who identifies as a she.
Ooh, okay. So I'm not gonna touch that. So the card, when it enters and draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your main deck. Continuous, this card cannot be targeted by spells or abilities. When this card is put into a graveyard from a field, shuffle it into its owner's main deck. So basically, it acted as like a lot of people called it a brainstorm with the body, which is brainstorm is a magic term. It's a magic card that you play it, you draw 3 cards, and you put 2 back on the top of your deck. So this card, I swear, was used in every, like, I feel like in every Wanderer deck, and like in every deck back when we played. It was like pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Like it bricked a lot of good aggro stuff, and like was super good with like fixing your deck. It's just awesome.
She couldn't be targeted, and then you'd block with her, so nothing could happen to her. And you just shuffle her back in, and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
She was great.
And then yeah, you just like you keep cycling cats too because like you drew a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know one like clarification not a lot of people knew, I guess maybe who played back in Grim Cluster and are just coming back, is the enter abilities back then were enter keywords, which meant it only played from hand to trigger the ability. And now if you're looking at what we have automatic abilities that can trigger from anywhere. So if you had something come from graveyard in the field, those abilities would trigger, but if Cheshire was somehow to come from graveyard to field, she wouldn't have triggered.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So I'm curious. I mean, I like I said, I do not follow the Wanderer like meta at all. I don't know why this card like isn't good enough for Wanderer anymore, or if there's just better like decks out there that do way better. It seems it's.
What is the reasoning behind it not being good?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't read too into the post. One of the guys who's somebody who's always arguing. I was just bringing it up to you guys. I don't know why you're making me some sort of like.
I don't know. No.
You're the one who put a counter argument. I want to know what the counter argument is because I'm not aware.
Go look for the post.
Because I agree with Joey that it looked. Oh, screw you! I don't even know what you're talking about. I agree with Joey. It still seems like a strong card because it basically has barrier. It has infinite shuffling back into your deck, so it's 1 cost. So it's not like shuffle. Oh, I pulled it. Oh, that sucks because you pulled it, and it's good you pulled it because you play it down for 1 and get to draw the cards, fix the top of your deck. When it goes in, it shuffles your deck up, which is good a lot of times. You want to shuffle it, especially if you're putting cards at the bottom of your deck with other effects and things like that. So and with a lot of the current cards that came out that bounce stuff on top of your deck, it's nice to be able to shuffle it if needed and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I remember you used to play this and you used to like play the Adam Brawley effects and incarnations, so you just draw.
Yeah.
You just draw a ton. I mean, I don't know if Adam Brawley is still played. I doubt he's played in Wanderer because he's probably not good enough.
I don't know. I really liked him. I feel like he'd still be relevant. There's a lot of multi-attribute resonators too.
But do you think Adam Brawley is good enough in Wanderer?
I think so.
I feel like there's faster stuff.
I mean, to produce will or to draw a card, which is like the 2 most common things it used. I think it's pretty good.
I also like Cheshire because we played him and then you got to play Gwyver later because like that was a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we need that would make Adam Brawley super cool is a resonator with 5 attributes. That'd be super cool, just sacking 1 resonator. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Isn't there one?
I don't know about that.
I thought there was a resonator.
With all 5?
With all 5?
Uh-huh.
You can give. I don't know.
No, there's not. I'm thinking about something different.
I think you're thinking of Ruler.
Yeah.
You can give Prisha all 5 attributes. Or can you only give her 1?
Technically, I don't know, actually.
I don't remember if it's you give her any attribute or all attributes. I think it's any attribute. Anyways, doesn't matter. I think that wouldn't be very good anyways.
What is the rest of your staple list, Joey?
A lot of people played, and I don't know if it's still played, but they played Alice's World. For each Resonator you control that doesn't share any race with other Resonators you control, you may pay 1 less to play this card. Enter, take an extra turn after this one. So, yeah. So you could just kind of try and link turns, and there used to be like an Alice's World, Reflective Rain, Cheshire Cat deck. It's pretty sure it's pretty amazing, but
yeah, I like that type of stuff. Being able to take a turn again and all that, like that, and was it the Kaguya card? I think was it Kaguya or another? The chant that you take one more turn, and if you don't win, then you lose the game.
Yeah.
I like that type of stuff. I think that's kind of cool. Just be like, and let's give this another go round.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember this one being played, being like top 8s and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it's irrelevant anymore though. Like it still seems insane, right? Like I feel like you could get that pretty quickly.
Oscar, does it seem insane?
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm being asked ruling questions from somebody online. Or to try to type super quietly and respond to these. So I'll answer you guys. If y'all are wondering how Legend works, if you had 5 cards revealed and you had a card that had 1, 3, and 5 Legend on it, you'd get all 3 of those.
However, you need to meet the criteria of Legend 3 in order to play the card.
Oh, so wait, you'd have to hit 3?
Like Legend 3, if you're talking about the champ, Legend 3 is destroy target addition. There has to be an addition on the field in order for you to target. So you can't play the card, period, if you have Legend 3 unlocked, which is kind of funny, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was just referring to the ruler and how it worked.
So,
but real quick. I got really hyped when I saw this because I went and opened up Facebook. But did you see the post for that Robert made just 12 minutes from when we're recording this?
No.
Said, "What's up, everyone? I hope this finds that you all doing well. There's a major announcement coming very soon, so stay tuned, and I think you'll be very pleased." And he tagged Jim. Said, "Do you think they're ready?"
Oh shit!
And he said, "Major announcement" in all caps.
This is what I was. If this is what I shouldn't say, but my theory from like forever podcasts ago. If you guys remember.
I do remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember the
ARGs
exact.
and GPs.
Yeah.
I'm still holding toward that theory, and if he tagged Jim, I think that lends credence. So, did he say when he's announcing it? Was it like
just
tomorrow?
like coming very soon is all it says.
I don't know. I also don't trust that. Robert's the king of like, hey, I'm making this announcement soon, and then like 8 months later, it's like, hey, remember that announcement he said he was gonna do?
Well, there's even been ones where it's like, hey guys, announcement coming tomorrow or in a day, and it's like a week past. You're like, hey, where's that announcement at?
Yeah. So I wouldn't hold out too much hope. But if it came out when this, if this podcast is out and already came out, wow, that was a crazy announcement, guys. All my theories were right.
I really like that thing that I said in the comments but didn't say here was really cool about that.
But you'll find out tomorrow in the Forcible News if he made the announcement or not. But yeah, so Joey, you were talking about
yeah.
favorite.
Oscar, what do you think of Alice's World?
Oh my God, Oscar.
Sorry, I was reading more. No, yeah.
Oh my God.
World, I remember being really relevant back when was it Reflector Rain was? I'm trying to get back to you guys. When Reflector Rain was really big.
Yeah, we were just talking about Alice's World Reflector Rain decks with Quiber and bullshit.
No, but I remember what Colin said about the Kaguya one, the Door of Time. I think Door of Time was probably is easier to hit. You just need the appropriate will available. And then all of a sudden you have to face cancels, and that's a possibility. But if I think it's relevant, I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think
I'm also we don't play test Wander. We've already prefaced that, but I don't know.
Okay.
If I was building a deck, it's not something I would even consider having to throw in.
I'd totally play Alice's World. Okay, so Alice's World is a no-go.
I want to give
Heaven and Earth.
Let me give me a shout out to a card I miss that I wish was still legal, and that's Guinevere.
Oh yeah, no, Guinevere is broken though.
Yeah, I know, but it was also what helped power like Turbo Feetsing.
Yeah.
I know there's those people out there who argue like, no, you didn't need it at all. It's still a relevant deck. And it's like, no, it needed Turbo Feetsing. I mean, it needed Guinevere.
I remember the like all of the like build-ups to two turbo feasting was like, oh man, like there's this crazy like turbo feasting deck. It's like it runs like Adam Brawley and the elves and then it's this crazy like green blue deck, and then some guy somewhere was like oh guys, no wait, Guinevere and turbo feastings, and it's like, oh whoa, Guinevere and turbo feast is crazy, and then it just kind of kept like ramping up. It's like, no wait guys, what about this? Alice's Castling Turbo Feasting into Hook, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's the best thing ever. And it just kept going like that. I swear.
And then
I don't even know what the deck plays anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it does anymore either.
Like, does it actually try an Alice's Castling into Hook still?
I don't think so. Like with the one I ran, which was at the Richardson GP last year, was didn't even run Hook at all, which helped me get to 28th. That's why I like that deck so much. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, Guinevere was pretty broken though. She was too reliable, too much. Like, dude, you could sack cats into Guinevere. Like, that's how good that was. That was like the combo.
Yeah.
And then your cats just got cycled back in. It was insane.
Well, and the fact that she could sack herself was, I think, the tipping point for her.
Yeah.
Because some people would try to target her, and you'd be like, well, I'm just going to tap and sack her in response. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the Rook Egg was a big target on it as well. Switch out a Resonator.
Rook Egg was great for that. Outside of that, I don't know if Rook Egg's really good on its own without Guinevere.
Rook Egg was good in the old Baja Blast deck.
And that's because you would sack it to Judgment, right?
Yeah, well, you could sack it to Judgment, or you could like Rook Egg into Cthulhu into like more Cthulhus.
Yeah,
and like swing in and stuff.
And it was relevant within the feasting deck because not just did you have the Guinevere sack outlet, but you also had Leviatine, in which both are banned in Wanderer. So
yeah, and and Adam Brawley if you needed Adam Brawley to do something. Yeah, no, Rook Egg was good.
Joey's about to say another cool card.
Yeah, The other cool card was Sign to the Future.
That's still relevant.
So cool.
No, but seriously though, Sign of the Future is actually, I'm pretty sure it's still super good.
Oh yeah, it is.
Right, Oscar?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's still really good. I mean, like, I was sorting all my bulk the other day and going through all the.
If people are wondering.
Oh.
It's when there's a certain number of Resonators out, you would put it into play, and they sack 2 of them or banish 2 of them.
So it's a chance standby, which I don't know if people have played with those at all. But basically, you pay 2 and you put a card face down. It's like a trap card, and then you meet a trigger, like something triggers it, and you're allowed to play it for free. So trigger, your opponent controls 3 or more Resonators than you. Remove 2 target Resonators from the game.
And I played that card, and you guys were always weird about me playing that card.
I don't know. I heard it was a different card.
No. I remember playing that card, Signs of the Future specifically.
Yeah, I remember liking it because if you had like 2 of them standby, you can trigger both of them off the same thing, making your opponent banish even more Resonators.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see. The good thing is that you still get to target what Resonators you get to play or you get to remove.
Yeah.
It's like just in case I was going off targets.
And standby cards could be slotted into pretty much any deck because they don't have any color requirements technically because you just pay 2 void to put it in the standby and then it plays out for free.
Yeah.
So you could just throw it into the side deck or main deck if anything you wanted to.
Yeah, I was about to worry about is the prison card played anymore?
Is what?
Is the prison in the Lunar Lake, is that played anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be. That was a good card too.
Yeah. That was like that was a complicated.
That was cancel automatic ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then destroy the Resonator that did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was great.
Something I was reading the CR on earlier today when looking at certain rulings for Epic Stories we were doing. They're not standby anymore. Chance standbys, they're technically chance with triggers, which that was weird.
Yes. Yeah, because there's those standby zone. They're just on the field. So yeah, it's just a whole set of things. But basically, yeah, you just go by whatever the trigger is. Because technically, you could put any card you want into your chance standby.
Yeah.
They just won't ever get triggered
Which
if they don't have a trigger.
Something you guys should remember if you're running Scarlet and you're like one card away, just tap 2, put a random card in standby. You hit
You
null.
can still do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's still legal?
Yeah.
That's so dumb. You could okay. To be fair though, if you're playing Scarlet, you can pay a red to discard a card to deal 500 damage to a Resonator if they have one. But if they don't, then yeah, feel free to waste a card. That's so bad. That's so dumb.
That would be hilarious. Sounds like I paid 2 and I'm going to put this standby.
I don't have any cards. My judgment.
Hey, that could end up winning someone the game for sure. All right, so I mean I'm pretty sure that was all the cards that I wanted to talk about, right, Colin?
Yeah, was it?
Okay, yeah. I had one more. Split Heaven and Earth. We talked about this one I think like 2 or 3 podcasts ago.
Did we?
Yeah. It was the super nostalgic podcast. We went like when we were talking about Wander like for hours.
The other podcast we talked about Wander on.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Wander. We just talked about old cards.
Well, I think we talked about Wander in the view of like the one of the AGPs or one of the ARGs was a Wander only format, or they were introducing Wander more.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But I still think Split Heaven is relevant and super strong.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Like I feel like there's no way it can't be like strong in the Wander format.
Yeah, and especially with them out, they just keep introducing more special magic stones that you can use. And in some cases, the special magic stones are required for the deck for a lot of decks to work. Granted, there's a lot of mono decks I think in Wander that work perfectly fine, but I think Split Heaven is super awesome.
Yeah.
I got my Split Chans in the other day, so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna make a super cool Wanderer deck with Split Chan. So like going into Wanderer, like we'll start with you, Joey. So if you're gonna go make a Wanderer deck, do you still follow the same stuff you do for New Frontiers, like the types of decks you like to make for New Frontiers? Do you stick with that with Wanderer, or do you change it up since you have more cards available to you?
I'd probably change it up. I don't know. I think like if I'm gonna go into Wanderer like right now, I feel like, and like I don't know what the decks, like what good decks are, but like I feel like the best, like some of the best like I would have to look at my ruler first. I have to like build everything into my ruler, I guess, or like mostly everything. And like I feel like I don't know, like I feel like you'd have to play like some kind of Reflector Frame. Well, actually, now that Change Your World's banned, I wonder if Reflector Frame is just bad. He's probably still
I definitely think it was being played less already, and with the Change Your World ban, I think it's gonna see a sharp decline of not being as relevant anymore.
Yeah, probably, huh?
Especially with the last days of a what's it called? The new one.
Oh yeah, last days of a sad Dragonborn.
Yeah,
I know that's not the actual one. I don't think that's the actual one, but yeah, that's a good point.
Last days of Keurig.
Last days of counters on your J ruler. Wow, yeah. I don't know. I wonder what. Man, I wish we had someone who actually played like a lot of Wanderer and could like comment about like, oh man, no, this is like this deck totally changes up the meta or it doesn't.
Well, I'm asking like your personal opinion of like stuff you like to make it.
I think I wanna. I think when
I do Wanderer videos, so like if we go to do our Wanderer video, say next week, what deck are you gonna do? Is it gonna look similar to your New Frontiers deck, or if it's something completely different?
It's probably gonna have, like, I'd probably have to look at the best cards from like Grim and Alice Cluster format first, and then I would probably look at some of the like New Frontiers format, like because I would like to get cards that like break the game from like Grim Cluster or Alice Cluster. Like, you know, like if Levantine was still like was unbanned, I'd have to pick up Levantine real quick. So like I try and find those kind of cards where, you know, I would want to play those types of cards. So like I'd want to play Charlotte.
Joey's that guy, guys.
And if I'm making a competitive deck, I want to do that.
Joey was the guy going to locals with Reflector Frame every weekend.
Yep.
I did not do every weekend at all. I played
not every weekend. I skipped at least 1 week every 8.
Anyways, but yeah, so like if I'm trying to win, I'd do that. If I'm not, I feel like I'd play like try and get like a nostalgic deck where I'm playing like Huang Long, 4 beasts, or you know Prisha OTK or something, or like Ame no Habakiri into like Lancelot's.
Man,
yeah, he became really nice and fuzzy when he wasn't playing Reflector Frame.
Even then, his
first of all,
Reflector Frame deck.
What?
Reflector Frame. That's another Reflector Frame deck. Was the Wonglong.
Yeah, those are all. I think those are all Reflector Frame decks. It was Reflector Frame with Ame, Reflector Frame Beast, which had Prisha and Huang Long in it. Yeah. Well, like, come on, like Reflector Frame was like, hey, just give me 200 attack.
Oscar, what about you?
So I would go Nostalgia, meaning I would either do my Dark Alice I used to run, Old Machina, which I really wish we could see a few more new machines or Void Resonators that are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
those
I
are
miss
pretty
machines.
Right?
Yeah,
just trying to think.
DOA.
And I would also try to rebuild a Turbo Feetsing deck. I'm not sure how that would end up. And then probably like a Lumia. I would want some sort of Lumia that really concentrated on flickering, taking advantage of like inner abilities, especially with was it Dream of Juliet, which is another card that I feel like should have been mentioned a few seconds ago, but didn't. Since it had multiple modes on it for 2.
Yeah, Dream of Juliet should have been. I should have added that. That's a pretty good one.
And you have access to the 1-cost yellow card where you rest target resonator, draw a card. That's great inside a Lumia deck.
Shiny Strike.
Yeah, gives you a reason to rest a resonator without having to attack with it, and then flicker it.
And you get the benefit of drawing the card on top of it.
Dream of Juliet, for those who didn't know, 2 costs, 1 white, 1 void, spell chant instant. It said choose 1. If you control Juliet, the Hope, and Romeo, you can choose 3.
No one plays those, though.
Yeah, no, it was relevant in that part. But you can either destroy target addition, or you could draw a card, or remove a target resonator from the game and put it into its owner's field, which is the part you're using mostly, for that last part.
Yeah. Except we have an identical, the flicker part, we have an identical card. Was Dreams of Juliet quick cast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have a newer card that's identical to that.
But not
the
quick
flicker
cast.
at least.
Yeah.
Okay,
which card is it called?
I don't remember. It's from ADK.
No, it's from ACN.
No, it's ACN is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm. It was Light of Transmigration. It was a 2 cost with Remnant.
Yep. Oh, Remnant. Yes, that's way better.
Remove target resonator you control from the game at the next end of turn. Put it into the owner's field.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Huh.
But yeah, no.
Well, to be fair though, sorry. I was gonna say, to be fair, Dreams of Juliet, you can hit the other person's resonators too, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can blink out a block or something. Anyways.
Yeah, blocker or attacker. And not just that, but it had more modes than just blinking.
But it's you've got a little bit of nostalgia in there, but I feel like you're still sticking with the same sort of archetype type of deck that you usually run. Because you haven't shifted too much, where it's like sort of dark deck with destruction and then big hitter by the end of the game or something like that.
Well, yeah, I think once we started playing this and I was starting to figure out stuff I liked playing, is like, yeah, I like control. I think it's what it came down to. Like, yeah, let's get those cards out of your hand. No, you can't do that. As opposed to say aggro or whatever else there is.
Yeah. Because you liked you were playing Mikage, weren't you, when it first came out?
Yeah.
Which has similar guidelines on it, and then you just built your Rhea deck.
Yeah,
right? With elves, dark elves.
Me?
You're building a dark elf deck.
Oh, not Rhea, Freyla.
Freyla, yeah.
Yeah, it's dark elves, but that was a super duper travel deck, so it's not really running much else.
Yeah, but it's still a similar idea. It's darkness, destruction. Possibly, I don't know if you flip your ruler in that deck though, so that might be something different.
No, you do.
But
it's really cool.
You do?
A lot of cool interactions that Dark Elves are doing with each other. The only thing that was a downside for me is when I was playing Melissa, just game should have been up already, should come out Monday, was that I had no real answers to flyers at all. It's strictly black-red deck, and like I said, I was just mostly running every Dark Elf I could run. And whenever I had something...
Joey's just like, why aren't you running bats, Oscar? That's Joey.
Yeah.
No,
Why would I run bats? Yeah, that's irrelevant.
Super relevant.
How? Tell me how. Let him answer, Joey.
It's a 1-cost flyer that's dark.
GG, shut down the podcast.
Anyways, that's a waste of space. No, but there's certain burns and destructions you could use that the elves are generating themselves that help take out flyers, is what I was doing.
Yeah, there's enough flyer destruction if you're running dual colors. I don't think it should be too much of a problem in the long run.
Mm-hmm. So, Colin, what kind of deck would you want to make in your Wanderer Wonderland?
What kind of player are you?
What kind of player am I? Well, I'm not a reflect player. I'd probably stick with red aggro is usually my go-to, although that's shifted a lot. I tend to go towards like fun, unique stuff. So I like things like Panda and Imul. I like unique mechanics is sort of my go-to usually. But my base default is red, and so part of me wants to go nostalgia and go back to my original Sylvia deck. However, I think Keurig does what Sylvia does, but better. He doesn't have the producing of Green Will, but that's not that big of a deal. I mean, I'll have to run the risk of being hit by a Split Heaven. So I guess I'd have to debate whether to run mono Sylvia with Split Heavens or not run Split Heaven and just go all huge burn with Keurig, because there's so much access to burn, and then like I said, Keurig burns like Sylvia does, except times 1,000, and then you could keep burning and then burn some more. So I think there's a lot of potential with Keurig. But I don't know if I would want to use Keurig and Wanderer, because I don't know what I put in him that's Wanderer, because he has so much card support right now that he just works perfectly fine with his support without any access to Wander.
So it's not like you're really making use of Wanderer cards.
Yeah, so I feel like I'd probably go back to Sylvia. So I feel like I'd run mono Sylvia, Split Heavens, Lightning Strikes, Thunders, different things like that. Just huge burn potential with a lot of green counter spells.
So I have a question for either of you. Do you guys think Lancelot is still relevant in a red deck, or would you rather run something like Sylvia or the red Freyla red Resonator?
I think he is in Wanderer because of Ame. Throwing an Ame on him so he gets his passive effect as well as the Ame effect as well as the buff, I think is good for him. But that's just me. Whereas Sylvia, Ame's still good on Sylvia, but she doesn't get the potential destruction of maybe their only blocker or random other Resonator. Stuff like that, I think is still good with Lancelot.
I wouldn't think so. I think Sylvia's the way to go. Sylvia or Freyla?
Well, I think late game Lancelot's better than Sylvia too, because Sylvia's still, yes, she stops someone from blocking, but she's still only hitting for 6 unless you buff her. Lancelot late game, if he's already on the field, you can just tap all your shit to potentially swing for game, depending on how much life they have left. He's a lot more flexible late game than Sylvia.
But his was what, tap 1 red, gain +1 attack? +2/+0, right? No, +1 0.
It's +1
+1 0.
+2 would have been broken.
It would have. And I think there's better buffs you could play rather than just paying 1, right?
Well, it's a consistent thing. So if you've lost all your cards from a dark deck, or you've played out all your cards and you're running off top deck and you're not pulling what you need, it's a consistent passive ability that you have access to. It's not an ideal thing. Like obviously, like I said, it's better if you can just throw an Ame on there, or do a buff onto him, or just thunder your opponent. But you might not have access to it. So just having that passive ability, I think, is good.
I just feel that the ability for the 1,000 attack or more, card deal 700 somewhere, is could be risky. What if he's the only Resonator in play? He has to hit himself,
But if he has Ame on him, Ame buffs his defense as well, so it's not a big deal. So I like, you just plan for it.
It's not a big deal, but I mean, it still could be something that, like, oh, cool, you did that. I guess I'll lightning strike him for that last bit of damage.
Or True Blade.
Yeah. which True Blade's very big played right now.
It depends, but I just think he's.
Of course,
more
it always depends. It's just part of the argument, though.
Yeah, but I just think Lancelot's still more versatile than Sylvia's. Just still has the stop a blocker, and that's it. Whereas Lancelot has possible destruction of resonators, which is better than just stopping them from blocking, and the versatility of buffing him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Freyla then?
Oh yeah, so if I stop talking, everyone stops talking.
Well, he asked you a question.
I didn't hear
Well,
that.
I mean, I can ask both of you guys a question. Like, do you think Freyla is better than Sylvia, or would you rather run, like, you know, for both of you, like, would you play Freyla over Lancelot too, Colin?
So Freyla, so she's 6'6" still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gain swiftness, get something else swiftness. I don't know. I think Lancelot. I'd still go for Lancelot, but I like Freyla as well.
I would choose Freyla over it. I mean, ideal play being like, oh, play Freyla. She has swiftness. Cool. Play Tama or something like that. Something irrelevant. Swing for 6 to you. I'm going to give that Tama swiftness and +4. Now I'm going to swing for 6 to you again. In a turn, it destroys the Tama. That doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, I think Freyla is more dependent on the deck you're running, because I think it's stronger in some decks than it is in others. Because of her second ability is giving other stuff swiftness. Because you could give something swiftness like a Sacred Elf, for example, to instantly tap for get one of your will back that you paid to play her for technically and stuff like that.
But
so there's some.
Keep in mind that once you do that, it destroys it in a turn.
Well, not if you're running an Illumia deck and flicker it.
That's
you guys were just
true.
like.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
And what about you?
I think obviously there's decks that Lancelot shines more in. Like if you are running Ame, like the possible 1600 or 1700 like damage swing is pretty insane. If you're running like Necrolance, I don't know if that's like still a popular deck. Like that utilizes Lancelot more than it does Sylvia. But if I'm just comparing cards, like I like Sylvia probably the most, because I think it's really valuable to stop something from blocking. Like late game, you have a lot of options of like getting around pesky like defenders. I think Freyla is a very close second, because depending on her deck, like, and how aggro you are, you can get in a lot of like free damage. And like if you have expendable resonators, like let's say for example you're running red cap, you can play the red cap, give it the buff, and then you get a red cap back after it dies. So like you're not losing out on card advantage either. But or as I like Oscar said, Tama, like your Tama replaced itself. He did what he wanted to do, so now you already did what you already got that value. So now you're just getting 6 damage in, and for an aggro deck, that's what you want. So
let me ask you guys this, because I heard Colin mention earlier, and he's been a real advocate of it. But split heaven and earth, right? It's good in his opinion, but my question to you guys is, like, in its time of being in play, how come none of the top decks ever even ran it? And if they did run it, I may have missed it, but it's usually like a 1 or 2 of in the sideboard. So if it's so good, then why doesn't it get run?
I thought a lot of people ran it.
No.
It is because, 1, people are dumb. 2, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I think people, I think it was a mindset at the time. I think people have caught on to how strong destruction straight to your opponent is. I don't think that was as big of a focus of people back then, and maybe it's because it was also too slow compared to the format. There just wasn't enough stones to justify its destruction, versus just running 2 thunders that do 1,000 was better than 1 split heaven that might only do 900 if they only have 3 special magic stones. However, if the game gets to mid or late game when they have 5+ stones out that are special magic stones, there's like it's just ridiculously strong, I think, especially to have multiple of them, especially at least in your side deck. So I think it might have been just a combination of mindset and the types of decks, especially with Reflect Refrain being what it was, and being able to cancel it for only removing 2 counters was super easy for Reflect Refrain to do. I think in today's format, it might be something that's more played now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I had always thought that it was saw a fair bit of play. I mean, I think the card's like greatly costed. Like after 4 stones, it's like one of the best like bang for your buck damages to your opponent for 2 mana. I mean, it could, and I'd heard people say that like Split Heaven dissuaded you from trying to play special magic stones. So I mean, I never really saw that, so I don't think it's like this whole. I don't think it's a thing like where back when Hook was legal and more popular, it was like you honestly looked at decks and you were like, shit, like can I afford to play special magic stones? Like I was brewing like mono white soul, because cause you can play all your fairy tales, you can't get hit by Hook, and you can play soul and like mana ramp, and so. But I don't think it was something like that where people were playing Split Heaven, so people stopped playing special magic stones.
It also could have been like a domino thing of like people were playing special magic stones, so people played Split Heaven, and so people started switching to mono, so people lost the need to play Split Heaven. So it was this weird like circle thing that happened.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that ever happened. Like, I never felt too threatened with Split Heaven.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like you were pretty threatened and salty every time it was played.
I don't know. How about you, Oscar? What did?
No, I mean, I want to see where it goes. I guess it could be relevant in certain mono decks, but I don't know. Like, if you did mono with soul, it's all white stones, so you couldn't run it in there, and you'd want to use it against your opponent who is running them. So I don't know. We'll see. Right.
Well,
I didn't like it back then. I don't like it really now.
Yeah, I always thought Split Heaven was great because, like, if you're in an aggro deck, you're gonna be dealing more damage faster to your opponent than you're gonna be taking damage. So like, it doesn't matter how much damage it does to yourself as long as it kills your opponent, which it should. Like I don't know, after turn 4 or 5, you're looking at like 1,500 damage, and like that kind of. Like, compare that to World Flame Summing, which is 2,000 damage for, what, 11 stones? 10 stones? Or 10 will?
Wait. World Flame Summoning?
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the other one. The 2,000 damage one.
Invitation of Disaster?
Yeah, Invitation of Disaster. Yeah.
That's 11, right?
Yeah. So, like, the cost of damage... Huh?
I was talking Khan. He's a soul.
It's ancient magic.
Yes. Yes, it was Invitation of Disaster, but I mean it's not free. It's just pseudo free, sure. But
it's free.
So like the cost to damage ratio is already like super good. Like if you have your Thunder which is costed with one will for 5 damage, like, and that's baseline, then 2 will should do like. You have things that are 2 will that do 600 damage because you don't have something that costs 2 will in one card that does more than 600 or 700 damage. I don't think anything has been really printed that does over 600 damage with 2 will. Besides Split Heaven.
Technically, there is one where you remove some sort of counter or something like that and it does 800 instead of 600.
Maybe, but I mean that's extra cost. Like I don't know which one you're talking about. But like for like Blood Boil and all the regular 2-cost cards, they're all do 600 life, like do 600 damage. Like the Ray card. Oh my gosh. Anyways, but so like if you look at card costing 2 mana should do 600 to 700 life. So like a 2-cost card that deals 900 damage is already like costed way above. And like, yes, sure, you can pay 2 Thunders to do 1,000 damage, but then you're paying 2 costs. Like you're paying 2 cards to do it. And if you can get a Split Heaven that does that in 1 card, then your value is like going way up. And so I always just looked at it like that. Like after a while, like the value becomes so high and like so insanely good for yourself that like, especially in like aggro decks or finisher decks, like you don't want to care about losing life.
Yeah.
Especially if you played something like, say, Well, no, never mind. I was thinking of Evil Tree, but that would just mill yourself, wouldn't it? I don't know. That's just my opinion on Split Heaven.
Moving on from there, our ruler of the week is a Wanderer ruler.
Oscar.
Am I reading it? I gotta pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing Crimson Girl in the Sky.
Oscar loves this ruler.
I really do. She was really great. I liked doing the Wizard of Oz deck with her. But anyways, she's a green ruler, and her J-Activate is to pay 0, play its ability only if you put Refarth, the Castle of Heaven, into a field this turn. That's an addition. Or you could J-Activate by paying 3, 2 greens, and a void. When she flips over is where the real magic happens. She has a continuous ability that says this card cannot be targeted by darkness or fire spells. It's going to be darkness or fire card abilities as well, which was great because it got around Black Moonbeam. And then
it's basically barrier against fire and black.
And then continuous is if a spell or ability would increase attack or defense of resonators you control, it pretty much doubled it instead. And if anything tried to decrease it, it wouldn't happen. Nothing would happen.
Yeah. I was reading the flavor text real quick. So
what's the flavor text?
Just that she's waited 100 years for this moment. Because now I'm like interested in the flavor text now that we're in the past and stuff. I'm like, oh man, how's this stuff link up? And I know she's an ancient, which we've seen ancients subtype as well.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of cool too. Cool. So she's pretty cool. I like because she gets around fire and darkness abilities, which is important because she has 1,000 defense. So you technically could just thunder her twice or lightning strike her twice and kill her. But now you can't. A lot of the damage and destruction is red or black. So yellow. So green, because green is everyone loves green. Technically has some destruction and damage that could hurt her, but a lot of those cards people don't run. So you don't have to worry about it. Yellow, same deal. Doesn't really have much anything that against J rulers. And blue doesn't have anything. I think that off the bat, at the top of my head, that does anything. I take that back. Yellow has Grim, the inverse card. So when it flips over, it can destroy her. But point is, there's not a whole lot.
Card at that point. Wouldn't it be a black ability? Or is it a white ability?
No. Grim
it starts out
black.
It's black and
okay.
it switches to yellow.
He flips to white.
Gotcha.
More importantly, it blocks stuff like Burn to Cinders, which is one of the J-Ruler killers. It blocks Black Moonbeam, obviously, and it blocks... I was trying to scroll through this. Oh my gosh. It blocks the really popular one, the 800 damage one. You guys know what I'm talking about.
But either way, that's definitely our ruler for the week. And we all picked some cards that we thought would go really well. Do you want to start with Joey?
So
My card's terrible.
We always start with Joey. I don't know why you always question every time.
No, we always start with you until Joey complained about it.
You start with
everyone watching this, go back. I always start with Oscar, and then you'll see the podcast where Joey got mad.
You remember when we started this podcast, and I was like, hey, Joey, the order will always go, and it's Joey, Oscar, Colin, right?
I remember.
Yeah, see?
Comment below.
I'm prepared.
Comment below. Let us know. You guys have been watching this more than we do.
Team Joey or Team Oscar?
Maybe look. Even if there was one
Team Joey and Oscar or Team Colin is what it is. Because me and Joey are on the same page here.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like a Team Joey if Joey went first, and Team Oscar if Oscar always went first.
I like the rivalry we're against you instead.
Okay. So it was Flame of the Outer World though. That was
yeah.
So like that's still relevant yeah.
Your pick for this.
Anyways, my pick. Oh man. Well, you see, guys, I thought really long and hard about this, and I was all like, oh man, nothing decreases your attack or defense of resonators I control. Oh whoa, I should pick Nightmares of R'lyeh.
What is it?
It's a 3 red quick cast. Target J resonator gains plus 1,000 minus 1,000 until end of turn.
Oh. So you'd actually gain 2,000, huh?
Yeah. You can't play it on her because it's fire. So you have to play it on something on your field.
You can play it on her, right?
No, she can't be targeted. Period. It's not like a self barrier.
Well, no, her ability only increases resonators.
Yeah, and decreases on resonators.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So it'd be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
guys
could.
are
Yeah. So it wouldn't matter. But the thing is, guys, the thing you have to realize about this is that there's a better card that does I think the same thing.
What is that, Joey?
It's hold on, I need to scroll through it. It's hold on, introspective jutsu, quick cast. Target resonator gains plus 1,000 0 until end of turn.
How much does it cost?
3 cost, 1 colorless and 2 red.
Yep, that sounds
But listen,
better to me.
So obviously, I mean, one of these targets are J resonated, which doesn't matter because she can't be targeted. But anyways, check this out. You play 8 copies, right? You play 3 nightmares and 3 introspective jutsus. That way you get 2,000 damage for 3.
Hold on,
mana
error
buffs.
pause. Everyone heard that, right? He said 8 copies, and then he said 3 of each.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I meant 4 of each. My bad. I'm on the 3 mana cost. Anyways, so the idea, right, is you play your dudes and then you give them plus 2,000 damage. Bam, right?
So you just
Slot
need to
damage.
swing in with 200 elves and then buff them, and they're just like become giant monsters.
Exactly. You play a Crimson Girl swarm deck and then you just go wide with introspective jutsu.
I'm
Yeah,
digging
and
it.
that's
I'm
that's
digging it.
that's it. That's the cards that I wanted.
Okay. I dig it. Oscar, this is
Okay.
your deck.
So this is my deck, and I've run it in like different things: Wanderer, Popper, everything. And I've had things I've liked to run. Honorable mentions go to Water Kimonos or Heartless
yeah.
Tin Man, which are great because in that interaction, which this is my pick, is honorable mentions. You have Tin Man in play. You play down Kimono. It gains the buff off of the Kimono coming into play. You attach Kimono to Tin Man. It gains an additional buff on top of that. So you're almost double buff just from that interaction alone. But to me, the direction I decided to go with was one that kind of really takes advantage of the rules and how they work. And it's going to be Lars, Swordsman of the Dusk.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you not familiar, he is a 6/2. He is blue-red, which is like weird to put into a green deck, but you can just run Kaguya's Moonbeam Butterfly to put into play. And what he does is, comes in, he's a 6/2 with an ability of pay 0, switch attack and defense of this card until end of turn. Now the reason why it takes advantage of like the way the rules work is because you would pay the cost to switch the attack and defense from 6 to 2 on the other side, right? The card Crimson Girl would look at it and be like, oh, you can't decrease the attack, seeing that it's now 200, increase it back to 6, so increases by 4. Then her other ability goes, oh, you increase by 4, well, now increase by 8 instead. And then you keep flickering that, keep paying that until you get him to like his giant resonator, and then just swing for game. Or you could be swinging and then triggering that to happen.
Yeah,
which is
because
why-
it doesn't say once per turn. It has no restrictions. So you just, if he makes contact after you J-activate it with your opponent, you just won because you just
Yeah.
infinitely do his ability.
Until you
Wait,
just
hold
like
on.
one
How
million,
does
one
how does that
million.
second part work?
What do you mean? So
So
you pay the ability and it switches a 6 to a 2 and a 2 to a 6.
Right.
And
So
Crimson
think of it-
Girl looks at it and says, "Oh, it's attack decrease. Well, it can't bring it back up to 6." And upon bringing it to 6, that's increasing by 4. And then her other ability is like, "Oh, you increase by 4. Well, we were supposed to double that, so increase by 8 instead." And then you switch
And
it
then when
again,
you-
keep switching, and keep switching.
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
It was an official ruling.
After that, CR supports it. I don't have the rulings on it, but you
Wow.
can find it if you go look at the CR.
So that's a one turn kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, the difficult part is it's a blue-red card, and you're running a green deck, so you really depend on.
Why don't you just
Getting
play,
it.
And you
play
need
blue
and
red
you need
for it?
2 green to J-activate.
You don't, oh, I guess you do need to J-activate.
Yeah. So that's the tricky part: is 2 green to J-activate and a blue and a red. You need all 3 of those in play.
I know a card that does that. It's called Ruler's Memoria.
Oh, there you go, Wander. You got your blue-red now.
Yeah.
And 1,000 other regalia that do stupid stuff. Is that the only card you had?
Yeah, I had focused mostly on the kimonos and the Heartless Tin
I
Man,
like-
and then
I like
realized,
how he has
oh wait,
swiftness, too.
Lars does this, and went with Lars instead.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, that's what
that doesn't seem very fair. So So he can't even die from damage, can he? Because like, does his defense get increased that way too?
Yeah,
Yep.
well, because when you think about it, if it's now at 6 and you switch it back and it goes, oh, you can't lower the defense. The defense is actually higher than this. It buffs it again. So he keeps going up on each side.
Low red buffs his defense as well and keeps his defense from going down. So he's just
That's
universally
such a
going.
weird interaction. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would have never thought it goes that way. I like that. I like that a lot.
I probably phrased that incorrectly for anybody listening, but you get the idea.
The
Isn't-
idea is
isn't-
he's an
isn't-
infinite combo.
Isn't there a green card that switches the attack and defense?
There was the green resonator. It was some wizard guy. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Moonlit
Does he
Savior.
not work? I mean, he doesn't have the
it's an extra card to depend on at that point when you just get one card in play.
right, but you don't have to go blue. Although I think that guy you pay mana for it, don't you?
I'm pulling it up right
Never
now.
mind.
Probably.
Yeah.
Heart
So-
Stirring Sage.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a 1-cost green. Tap target resonator's attack becomes equal to its defense until end of turn.
Yeah.
And
Never
it's
mind, that's
0/6.
It's trash, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still decent. Cool. So, I'm gonna need you all to put on your seatbelts for this ride we're about to take. So, I have 3 different cards I'm gonna go over. Each is completely different deck that you would make around it. So, card number 1. So, picture this. So she's green. You need green to deactivate. You're running the green in there, dual colors of green black, and it's just for the green is there for counter spells and J activation, stuff like that. But the main thing is black, and so what you do is you run a bunch of cards that do the
What? No
thing
way.
that put because now that we have sort of consistent generation for it, they put mystery counters on your J ruler. So you're putting mystery counters on your red. And then when you J-activate, like, all right, I J-activate.
Oh, wait. How are you putting mystery counters? Oh, because she's
She
flipped.
doesn't
Okay,
have.
okay.
Yeah, and
Alright.
she's just stacking up mystery counters. Let's say she
Alright,
has
I'm following.
33 mystery counters as a number. All right, we'll just say she has 5. Let's say she has 5 mystery counters by the time you J-activate.
He's going bat, isn't he?
You J-activate, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm going to pay 1. You put down a bat. It gets plus 200 for each mystery counter in your ruler. So he's at plus 1,000 now because you have 5 mystery counters, and it's doubled that. So now you have a 2,000 attack flying bat for 1 cost. And then the more mystery counters you get, obviously the stronger the bat gets. You don't run anything that actually uses the mystery counters. You're just trying to generate them, and then you're putting bats out that fly and are able to swing into your opponent for a shit ton of damage for 1 cost.
I love it. What do you got for me next?
Joey loves
Instant
it.
tier 1 deck.
Hold on. Oscar loves it too, I can tell. So obviously that's the obvious first choice. Second choice. All right. So I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what?
You're like, bats
You know what'd
isn't
be
enough.
good? Is a deck
Bats just
that,
isn't strong enough. I need something else.
that runs a lot of buffing passively. Not passively, but like, it's you like play this, buffs that, play this, buffs that, buffs that. And I was like, what does that? And I was like, what if? So she's green base, same thing, same idea. Green to deactivate, green for counter spells. The second color is yellow. So you run a panda deck. And so the idea is you run things like Jewel Sword. So if you have a bunch of gems, say you have 5 gems as a number, you play Jewel Sword, it's going to buff something by 7, and then that doubles it. So you're buffing it by 14 for a 1-cost quick cast. You have things like Rose Quartz that comes into the field for super low cost that buffs everything, all your pandas +4/+4, so now they're all buffed +8/8. You have things like, I forget his name now, Blankety Blank that does stuff. You have Orfika that buffs, does she buff pandas?
No, I don't think she does.
I thought she did. Point is, I was thinking about it, and there's actually a lot of buffs within pandas. So you could run a panda deck within her, and then just
She
buffs them +2,
yeah,
right?
She buffs pandas. Yep.
yeah. So now she's buffing them +4. What do you know? You can blink Rose Quartz back in to keep buffing up your pandas. I guess that
How are you
doesn't work.
blinking her in?
Doesn't matter. And so you can with Orfika blinks. Um,
Oh, okay.
so you just basically you're just running your generic panda deck, but now all the buffing that pandas do is like doubled, and I thought that would be cool.
It's terrible, terrible trash panda deck. Give me the third one.
Lastly, so this is more your generic thing, but I just thought it was pretty funny to do. So you just run a mono green deck, and all you do is you run, let's say, you run a not mono green deck. I'm going to backtrack. You run a green red deck with Ames, and you throw Ame on the field, and you attach it to, get ready for it? Prisha, Beast Queen in hiding. So you have Prisha out there, you attach an Ame onto her, so Prisha, whenever you increase her attack or defense, it doubles that number instead. And so you attach Ame on there, so she gets plus 800, and she gets another 400. Actually, I don't know how the interaction works. Does it buff her on top of that buff?
Yeah, so what happened? So
I think
she gains
60,
what?
right?
If a spell or ability would increase her attack or defense, it does it by double that instead. And red has an ability. Does that mean it doubles and doubles and doubles?
Right, and you just figure out the double. So if you attach the Ame and it would go to plus 4, it's now plus 8, and little red goes, okay, now it's plus 16.
Okay. So it takes that initial thing that Prisha has and ups it. Yeah. So you do Prisha with her double combined with her double. So now you just like swing in, and you could probably make an OTK pretty easily.
I mean, doesn't Ame do double the damage of what
No.
No, what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of something that's not Ame. You're thinking of
Yeah.
the werewolf.
Yeah.
Which you could totally run since we're making a green-red deck. But werewolf is whenever it does damage to a resonator or your opponent, it does double that instead. So you could run werewolf, but it's essentially the same thing as Prisha at the end of the day, except not as good because Prisha has that initial doubling, which is able to coincide with low red. The point is, Prisha is actually a pretty good pick inside of this deck.
I think you should just go with that and not any of the others.
I thought the
I
other
would've
was
been like,
super
"Whoa, that's
fun.
super cool."
I think the other ones are way better.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the
I
other ones
think
were more natural.
Panda
This one's more natural because it's green-red. You're like adding red rather than trying to be like, oh, I'm going white now, or oh, I'm gonna just go like black.
It's the exact same thing.
You
Each of
don't
them I
like-
just added one color.
It's alright.
Joey likes mystery.
I mean, because what's the defense again? Because the defense stays. What was the
400.
defense? 400.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. You just attach an Ame and you're good.
Ame the bats. Now you're running red on top of black. It sounded like at some point bats was gonna fuse with that Prisha deck, running black, red, and green.
I mean, it could. I mean, I'm running green already, so I can just throw Prisha in there, throw some bats in there, throw some mystery counters in there.
Well, with the red, bring in Ame. Yeah. Let's see that. Let's see that happen, Colin. I'll play you with mine.
I'll call it like Mystery Cancel Theater or something like that.
That's good. That's good, dude.
Oscar's like, okay, I kind of like it now.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And to those watching, yeah, obviously there's counters to everything, but we don't get in those arguments because everything can be canceled or true bladed and whatnot. So,
Yeah. My biggest appeal for Wanderers is stuff like this, just like super fun random stuff that isn't available in New Frontiers. Hey guys,
did you
actually,
pre-order
look,
the other cards?
I pre-ordered on Cool Stuff. So I got my Rachel's in from Cool Stuff, but I also got this other card because, in my defense, they had this listing, and originally they had it listed as Lorite, the one-cost resonator everyone loves, and it had the card and the name for the price of like 50 cents or something like that. So I was like, oh shit! So I bought 8 of them, and I was like, and then I went back to my order like a week later. And saw they changed it to what I assumed was supposed to be. And I was like, well, damn it. I call bullcrap, but whatever. So, I have 8 of Lorite's deletion magic. Wow.
You know what you should
So
do?
hopefully,
Sign each one of those, and we can give them away to anybody who's watching this.
people want my signature.
Yeah, no, hey, comment, guys. If you want one of those magics, Colin will sign it and send it to you. And then we'll have you message us on the channel. And tell you what one random one of those will have the coin. One random. Like a lottery.
Maybe one of them will randomly be an actual Lorite.
Well, don't mislead people, because unless you're
I have my
away.
play set of full art Lorites, so any non-full arts I have are gravy. Besides, turns out we made the wrong. Oscar and I totally thought Lorite was going to be the high-priced one between it and Rachel, so I went all in on Lorite. And I think Oscar did or didn't. Yeah, you did, because you pulled that. You kept the full art Lorite. Turns out Rachel ended up being it, because I was like, oh, she's a rare, and Lorite's super rare. And nope, Rachel's going for $35-40, and Lorite's like $12 for full arts. So I was like, well, damn it, I miscalculated that hardcore. But she's hardcore gonna get banned, so I need to sell my full art Rachels. Oh yeah, don't if we ever
what the hell?
if we ever give financial advice, don't listen to it. We're really bad at
Don't
it.
take
Like
any advice we have.
I had a chance to buy Severing Winds, a bunch of them, when it was pre-ordered, and I was like, I don't think it's gonna go up past like $4 or $5 a card, and I regret that pretty hardcore.
Every time we gotta bring this.
Hold on. Let's let them know. So there's this super cool card, super relevant, called Shade Assassin. So
Real quick, I'm gonna defend myself that I was convinced of it based on something Joey said. So I have to play partially play.
We meant Shadow Assassin. There's a separate card called Shade Assassin, which is actually a good card. Hold on, let me retype that. Shadow Assassin. There we go.
Shit.
That's what we want. So Shadow Assassin. It's a 2-cost, 2 black, mind you. 1/5. When this card deals damage to a resonator, destroy that resonator.
Yeah.
Oscar, explain yourself.
So I thought that with Bloody War Axe was gonna be insane. Yeah, Blood Cover War Axe. So I went ahead and bought like a ton of them.
They were like 20 cents or whatever, and he was like,
No, they're cheaper than 20 cents.
It
was like 4 or 5 cents a piece.
He was convinced it was going to jump up in value, so he did a panic and trade it for like others, so he had like a giant stack of them.
My favorite part. Go ahead. You guys say the favorite part of it?
Well, I just like you're doing all that, and like I remember we were still like it was still a upfront topic that we would bring up, like, oh man, Oscar's pretty convinced about this Shadow Assassins. I had a moment where I was like, shit, what if that's gonna actually be the theme? And then like the next set came out and it just had a 1-drop black that did the exact same thing except better, and it was like, wow. So Oscar just stuck with a stack of Shadow Assassins, which went down even. I'm pretty sure they're even lower than 1 cent now.
Oh yeah, it's probably like a penny.
Yeah, but you're gonna say something else?
Yeah, no, creature.
Oh no, they're 10 cents.
Creature
they held their
from
value.
Chaos was the one that was even better than it.
It's 10 cents, Oscar. So in your defense, you might have only lost like 20 cents at the end of the day. Because I'm pretty sure they're like 15, 20 cents when you bought them.
Well, my favorite part was we go to play at our local store. By the way, yeah, 1 cost less for that newer replacement that came out. It was even better than it. But we go and we have a community box, and I was like, I'll trade in some of these assassins.
Yeah, so by trading he meant he went goosh just inside of the community box.
I got to like 5 or 10 cards and I left 5 or 10 of those. And then we're just hanging out one day, and one of the guys from our local was like asking for a card, and someone goes, oh, it's in the community box.
Go on, Oscar.
I can't. I'm just laughing so hard. He's like, no, it's just like a crap ton of assassins.
He was like, no, that's weird. Why is there so many Shadow Assassins in here? And Oscar's just sitting there like staring straight ahead, like not even like looking.
I was like, yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, so that's the story of why you shouldn't listen to.
So if you ever hear to mention the Shadow Assassins, that's what it's referring to, is that story.
That's why we're not doing the top 10
times.
valuable cards per month. We're having Jay Ruler do that because we're like, wow, why is that so expensive? You guys should probably buy those out. Oh shit! Oh man, we fucked up, guys. Shouldn't have bought those.
All right.
But yeah, so that'll about do it for today. I think that ran a little bit longer, but. Yeah, so let's know your guys' thoughts. Or actually, first, if you're still here, just say, I'm a wanderer. So we know that you're still wandering around. To
enter the raffle to be able to get one of those signed cards from Colin, which only one will contain the token. And then what we'll do is we'll use a randomizer and see who use that
We
term.
might only give away one or two because shipping is a bitch. But
sorry.
the post office is like. We're open for my post office is literally because Saturday is when I can ship shit, and they're like, cool. So you want to ship on Saturday? You better come here between, I think it's 12 and 1:30, and that's it. 1.5 hours they're open, and that's like, and then they're closed Sunday. So I have a 1.5 hour window to like wake up early and go zoom, 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 zoom.
And one thing I'm gonna add on that because this is a just for fun thing. We went to limit to the U.S. only because. Yeah, shipping across seas, especially if it had a token in it, would probably cost quite a bit.
If you don't want me to sign it because it would go from its 15-cent cost to 5 cents, that's fine too, and we'll just have the token or whatever in there if it's included in there.
There you go.
But or I can get Oscar to sign it.
Either one of us. We'll even have Joey sign one. Joey, go buy some packs. Go buy some singles.
Yeah, Joey, just go buy one of these. Drop. Well, no, because you have to drop $1 for shipping, and he'll even draw like a corner on the card and a stick figure of him there.
There you go. And for any listeners on SoundCloud or any of the other medias, if you would rather, you can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter at TCGScrubs. And on SoundCloud, you can actually just comment on the actual track itself, and we'd see that.
I might just, whoever wins, I'll just send you 8 Lorite Solution Magic and let you have them. Because it's not like I didn't pull them out of my freaking booster box. And
so one person's winning?
Limited events.
They get all 8 of those? Each one's signed?
I say we'll do two winners.
Okay.
One person will get 8 deletion magics. The other will get like a deletion magic, a coin, and maybe I'll debate whether I'll give them a regular Lorite as well.
I don't mind doing a few more of these giveaways. We have like a giant stack of them.
Yeah, I got of Lorite deletion magics. Or no, of coins.
The coins.
Yeah, because those we'll give them to our patrons, but there's not that many 20 up, so we'll and I don't want to just keep giving red ones every month, so we'll probably just do red and then not do red again and change the colors each month. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, so we're dragging this out. So we'll thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.